Well, here we are in Witney in Oxfordshire, David Cameron's constituency. This is the final protest for badgers and for wildlife protection before the election on the 7th of May, this Thursday. We're here really to make sure that David Cameron understands how important wildlife will be on polling day, that there's lots of people here and tens of thousands of people that can't be here who care deeply about the protection of badgers, about stopping fox hunting, about protecting animals both at home and abroad. And they'll be telling their MPs and candidates in their constituencies that this will be important to them when they vote. And I think it could make a huge difference in some key marginal constituencies across this country. David Cameron's a very safe MP here, he won't lose here. But by coming here, we are making people think, not least the Prime Minister, the wildlife vote counts, that it's important, people care deeply about it, and in a very tight election, probably the tightest of 40 years, it could make a key difference.
Save our badgers! Stop the cow! Save our badgers! Stop the cow! Save our badgers! Stop the cow! Stop the cow! Save our badgers! 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 Stop the cow! Save our badgers!
Bollocks to Cameron!
Save our badgers!
Stop the cow!
Stop the cow! Stop the cow! Stop the cow! Stop the cow! Stop the cow! Save our badgers! Save our badgers! Save our badgers! Stop the cow! Stop the cow! Save our badgers! 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 Tories out! Save our badgers! Tories out! Save our badgers! Tories out! Save our badgers!
Well, not instantly, but more or less straight away see circus animals stopped, which, if the Tories got back in, that would roll on and roll on. It was been passed for going through 5 years ago, and it's still rolling on. That will more or less get stopped straight away. There's a dozen other things. There'll be destruction. If the Tories get in, there'll be destruction of wildlife in the United Kingdom.
The head I'm wearing today is because it's Cameron's constituency, and because I am very honoured to be part of a group of hunt monitors in this area. Everybody talks about SABs, people don't talk about monitors much. They're a very brave and dedicated group of individuals who go, in, week out, in very small numbers against the practically psychotic packs that operate in this area. If you go over that way, a couple of miles, you're in Haythrop country. There is a lovely picture of David Cameron having a nice little chat with Guy Avis, the chairman of the Haythrop, and he has actually hunted with the Haythrop and boasted of doing so. The Haythrop block badger sets. They tear foxes apart, and they are all over the roads. They are still hunting. We were very successful a few years ago in dragging them kicking and screaming into court along with the RSPCA on 52 charges of illegal hunting. They admitted to they pleaded guilty to 4 of those charges, and the entire hunt was complicit. The entire hunt was taken to court as a corporate body. Apart from that, and apart from coursing, when people talk about protecting the hunting ban, I say, what ban? There is no ban on hunting. The hunts continue to hunt as they always have done. It's had a brilliant impact on coursing. You don't see the Waterloo Cup anymore, that's gone. But hunting, do not believe anyone says there's a ban. What we've got is a law that's full of loopholes. We've got a law where the police can't do anything. We've got a law where the RSPCA can't do anything. Cases are not being brought before the courts anymore, and when they are, the Countryside Alliance are all over them. We need to address that, whoever gets in. So there's a lot of work out there to do. Those are on Facebook, or if you're not, if you're online at all, look up the campaign to strengthen the Hunting Act. That is all about what we've got to do to make the act actually effective, make it an actual ban rather than a pretend ban. What we need is a recklessness clause. At the moment, a hunt will meet and somebody will be out smashing all the badger sets up so the fox can't escape down them. And if you'll come across a blocked badger set, you can't prove who's done it. So, you know, best will in the world, you're not going to get prosecution on that. Oh, it's an accident. And then the hounds will run across a major A road. That's another accident. Oops-a-daisy, they've just killed a fox in a playground. Another accident. That's the way the Act operates at the moment. We need a recklessness clause. You get it if your dog goes out and kills a sheep, you're culpable. And the same needs to happen with hunts. We need to make sure the Badger Act's enforced. We need regulations, proper regulations on terrier work. An outright ban would be good for a start. But those are the sort of things we need to do, regardless of who gets in. As it stands, the ban is not working. We need to make sure it works, and we need to be providing the evidence that it's not working and getting it out there.
What's going to happen on Thursday? We've got an election. And the importance of an election is that we know that the badger cull could finish on Friday if we get the right result. We know that a Labour government will stop the badger cull. And do you know why? It's not just because of animal welfare. I'll come on to Labour's links with animal welfare in the future. It's because it just doesn't work. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. It's not curing TB amongst our cattle. It's an ineffective piece of policy, and it's just got to stop. Yes. But it's also got to stop because we care about animal welfare and badgers. Because not only is cruelty to badgers wrong on its own terms, it demeans us. It lessens our humanity. Bad animal welfare makes us less human.
Thank you very much. It's been a year and a half since I've been in Witney. I came here at the start of what became this Badger Army campaign that's now marched in 28 towns and cities across this country, that's brought tens of thousands of people together in what's become the most effective wildlife campaign, I think, in a generation. Combining that with all the work that Lynn and all those wonderful people have done in the fields has made this one of the most politically contentious issues in terms of badger culling in the last generation in terms of farm and environment policies. And does it matter? Of course it matters. Because David Cameron, working with his mate Nick Clegg, over the last 5 years have played politics with our wildlife. They spent £15 million, nearly £6,500 per badger killed, to wipe them out in parts of Gloucestershire and Somerset in the most disgusting, disgraceful way possible by a so-called free shooting policy that has been an absolute failure, that's resulted in many badgers taking 5, 10, 15 minutes to die, to drag themselves off of multiple organ failure and blood loss, which should disgust anyone that is caring and compassionate about how we protect our wildlife. It's not helped farmers. It's been a massive distraction from getting on top of more improved testing systems for cattle control movements, systems that have proved hugely valuable in Wales where there's been no culling at all, where they've brought down the level of disease in terms of new outbreaks by 48% in the last 5 years alone. And yes, Labour is absolutely right to say it will stop the pilot culls. Labour is absolutely right to say it will stop the extension of this policy. And I'm pleased to have played a part, as many of you have, in influencing the party to put those commitments in its manifesto. And you know what I found? It's because we've caused such a fuss, because we've made our voices heard. This election has seen more debate at a local level, maybe not at a national level, but a local level on wildlife conservation than we've seen in generations. And that's a good thing. We've been packing village halls. We've had people jumping up and down. We've had local press coverage. And you know what? In some of those seats, we're going to make a bloody difference on Thursday. In Stroud, we're going to make a difference. In High Peak, we're going to make a difference. In Worcester, we're going to make a difference.
A few hundred seats could decide the outcome of some of those elections, and this election might be down to 5 or 10 seats. So actually badger culling and fox hunting and wildlife crime could decide who is going to be in number 10 Downing Street. And that is important. And that's why we're here. And that's why the wildlife vote is growing. There are millions of people in the RSPCA. There are millions of people in the Wildlife Trust. There are millions of people that support the Hunt Saboteurs, League Against Cruel Sports, the Badger Trust, Born Free Foundation, Care for the Wild. All the organisations I could talk about, the RSPB. We don't often hear them combined in a political force like our friends in the Countryside Alliance, but mark my words, they're more powerful. They have a moral majority and a moral authority that the Hunt lobby does not have, and they're scared. They're worried, because if we come together and we unify and we show our strength, we will win these issues. All politicians need to listen to what we have to say. This election on Thursday is probably going to be the tightest in 40 years. And it's going to be difficult for everyone. I'll be honest, I'll give you my views on this for what it's worth. I think the only winners on May the 7th will be the SNP. There'll be a tidal wave coming, and it'll change a lot about politics. And it's going to be very difficult for the Labour Party to deal with that, but they will have to. And I don't think Labour are probably going to win as many seats as Mr Cameron. It's going to be very, very close. And our friend David's going to jump up and down and claim he's got the moral right to govern. But you know what? I don't think he's going to have enough people to govern with. But Ed Miliband will have an opportunity to build an alliance, but it means he's going to have to reach out and work and take some difficult decisions. And yes, talk to other parties. But I think there's a consensus and a view here and across this country that there's a majority of parties that want to lock the Tories out. They should work and they should make that happen. And true political leadership will be shown when sometimes you have to just put the short-term interests of the party aside for the long-term interests of the country. And we want to see a government, and I want to see Ed Miliband as Prime Minister, but I want to see a government that will be able to do what's right for people, what's right for animals, and what's right for the environment. What I don't want to see, I don't think anyone wants to see in this audience today, is that our friend Mr Cameron holds on when he has no right to. He expands this badger cull. He weakens further the fox hunting legislation. He allows the killing of buzzards and raptors and the shooting and landowning industry to become more powerful and influential in politics in this country. And we have 5 years of this locked in, and we will not be able to stop this tragedy. Because all the hard work, all the sweat, all the toil that tens of thousands of people put in, we deserve better than that. So we're going to say to all our politicians on Thursday, you listen to what we have to say. You think very, very carefully about the decisions you make. We want to do what's right for this country. I hope that we will wake up on Friday morning and we will see a better start. We will see parties working together. We will see wildlife at the centre of political life in this country again, as well as protection of the environment. And we'll start to live in a better, less darker future than we have over the last 5 years. Let's keep fighting. Don't lose your spirit. If we have one hell of a celebration when we finish this and we get a good result on Thursday, I'll be there, and I know all of you will, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Emily, who has organised today's event, she's the local person, as well as in the background on most of the marches, has written a letter that we want to post through Cameron's door. Do you want me to read that, Emily?
Is that it?
Thanks.
Bureau postman.
If you are re-elected on May the 7th and the decision is to continue with your coal, the Badger Army, we'll be out there in the fields once more. We'll be sitting on sets, walking public footpaths and legally protecting to save as many badgers as possible. We'll be back out on our streets and towns and cities. We will not go away and we will not be silenced. Yours sincerely, Emily Lawrence and the Badger Army. So shortly, anybody that wants to join us will go down there and post it through his constituency office door.